Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going exploring the fascinating world of energy medicine with Donna Eaton's book, Energy Medicine. Now, you might be picturing crystals and incense.
Right, but it's not really about that. Think more about this system of understanding your body's natural energies.
Yeah, and what I found so interesting is how it ties into optimizing your well-being.
It blends ancient wisdom with modern science.
Yeah, it's like a bridge between the two, right?
Yeah.
Like what we knew traditionally and what we're now discovering with research. So, okay, let's start with the basics. When we talk about energy in this context, what do we really mean?
That's a great question, because we tend to think of energy as electricity or movement. But the book goes deeper, connecting it back to Einstein's EMC.
Oh, so even matter itself is energy.
Exactly. It's just incredibly condensed, and that's where this idea of subtle energies comes in.
Okay, so those are energies we can't measure with our instruments yet, but we experience them.
Right. Think of emotions, your intuition, even like the vibes you get from people. It's all energy.
And what's wild is that the book suggests these subtle energies are actually key to our health and well-being. I mean, that's a huge statement.
Yeah. And another thing that struck me was how empowering the book is.
Totally. It's like we have this innate ability to heal within us, right?
Exactly. It even calls it the 2 million-year-old healer within.
I love that. So our ancestors, they relied on understanding energy for survival.
Like they had to. It wasn't some esoteric thing. It was practical knowledge.
Right, which makes you think maybe we've just kind of forgotten those skills.
And this book's like rediscovering them. It's not just reading about it. It's learning to actually interact with your own energy system.
So let's talk about one of those big concepts,
Mhm.
the energy body. Now, I know for some people they might hear that and think it's getting a bit woo-woo.
Sure, but the book backs it up with scientific research. Like, think about phantom limb pain.
Yeah, where people feel pain in a limb that's not even there anymore.
And it can actually respond to energy work. So it's like there's more to our bodies than just the physical structure.
And there's that story in the book, right, about the Vietnam vet with phantom foot pain.
Yeah, and Donna Eden worked with him, focusing on the energy of his missing limbs, and his pain significantly decreased.
That's incredible. Okay, but here's where it gets even more interesting for me. The book mentions how children naturally see energy.
Oh, totally. Like when kids talk about seeing auras or imaginary friends.
It's like their awareness hasn't been dimmed yet by societal norms,
Yeah. As we get older, we lose that sensitivity.
which is sad. The book encourages nurturing that childlike awareness.
Recognizing that there's more to reality than what we just see physically.
Powerful stuff. Now, another big concept, energy testing. This is how we actually assess our own energy, right?
Exactly. It's like getting feedback from your body.
Yeah.
Muscle testing, for instance, can reveal these subtle blockages.
Instead of guessing what's wrong, you can actually find out.
There's this great example of a woman with severe allergies.
Yeah, and she used energy testing to figure out which medications wouldn't trigger a reaction. It's incredible.
Now, this leads us to something really practical. The daily energy routine.
Okay, so this is like a set of techniques to optimize your energy flow.
Yeah, think of it like a daily tune-up. We don't have time to go through all of them, but some stand out.
Yeah.
Well, there's the 3 thumps where you tap specific points on your body. Then there's the cross crawl, which involves moving your arms and legs in a pattern.
Oh, and the zip up, where you use your hand to trace up the center of your body.
Right. These all sound so simple.
But the book says they're powerful.
But like quick, easy ways to boost your energy throughout the day. Now, one thing we all experience is stress.
Oh, tell me about it.
And energy medicine talks about how it affects us energetically. There's this thing called the emergency response loop, our fight or flight response.
Makes sense. Our bodies are wired to protect us from danger.
But when it's constantly activated, it wreaks havoc.
Right. Mentally and physically.
The good news is the book offers techniques to reprogram that stress response.
Like using energy work to train our bodies to react more calmly.
Exactly. So instead of getting totally hijacked, you can stay more grounded. Now, energy medicine goes deep into several major energy systems. Let's start with meridians.
Okay, so those are like energy pathways running through the body.
Like rivers carrying energy.
Mm.
They correspond to those acupuncture points in Chinese medicine. They affect everything.
And if they get blocked...
Then problems can arise. Now, on to chakras. These are like spiraling energy centers along the spine.
Each with their own theme, right? Like root chakra for grounding, heart chakra for love.
Exactly. Energy medicine talks about how to assess and balance them.
So then the aura, it's like this energy field surrounding us.
It's like a protective bubble, revealing a lot about our health.
Yeah, and a strong aura is good, right?
Exactly. And the book gives techniques for strengthening it. Finally, there's the 5 rhythms.
This is interesting. Like, we each have a personal energy signature based on the seasons.
Yeah, it influences our personality and health. Some are more like spring energy, others more like autumn.
So it's about understanding your rhythm to make choices that align with it rather than fighting against it.
Exactly. And energy medicine goes into each rhythm in detail. But what's really cool is how Donna Eden uses examples and techniques throughout the book.
Oh, I love those. Like that story about the man who couldn't play piano because of fear and chakra work helped him.
It shows how powerful this can be.
Right. And then there's the Celtic weave to strengthen your aura and feel more whole.
They make it so real. Now, pain is something we all experience, right?
Unfortunately, yes. But energy medicine offers some real solutions.
It distinguishes between acute pain, which is a signal,
Like, hey, pay attention to this.
right, and chronic pain, which is more complex, often involving the nervous system misfiring.
So it's not about just toughing it out.
No. And the book provides various methods: breathing out the pain, tapping, even pain chasing, tracing energy pathways.
There's that story of the woman who became pain-free for the first time in years after trying these techniques.
Incredible, right? Now, this might surprise you, but the book also talks about magnets.
Magnets.
Yeah, and electromagnetic fields. It's a less expected aspect of energy medicine.
But they can influence our energy, right?
The book explains how. And it also talks about electropollution from phones and Wi-Fi.
Something we're all exposed to constantly.
It offers ways to minimize the impact. There's that story about an architect whose workspace was disrupting his energy,
And magnets helped.
along with other techniques. It highlights how our energetic environment matters. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The habit field.
Okay, I'm all ears.
This is an invisible field that holds our habits in place based on morphic fields which shape everything in the universe.
Whoa. So our thoughts, actions, emotions, they all create patterns in these fields.
Exactly. And they become ingrained. Like a path you walk in the woods, the more you walk it, the deeper it gets.
Oh, I get it. So the more we repeat a thought or behavior, the stronger it becomes in our habit field.
And there's this story about a girl with mysterious pain, which turned out to be an imprint of a past trauma.
So her body was literally holding on to that energy.
Powerful stuff, right? But here's the good news. We can change our habit field.
We're not stuck.
No, the book gives tools for that. Intention, visualization, repetition are key. If we choose new thoughts and behaviors, we create new pathways.
It's like rewiring our energy.
Exactly. And there are stories of people who've done it. The woman who lost weight with positive affirmations, the smoker who quit using temporal tapping.
So inspiring. And Donna Eden herself had to retrain her energy system after years of working with clients.
It shows we can always learn and evolve. Okay, before we wrap up part 1, let's briefly touch on something else the book explores. Spiritual experiences.
Oh, interesting. So energy medicine goes beyond the physical body.
Yes, it acknowledges the mind and spirit connection. There's this story about a spirit guide named Balashim offering healing.
So there might be other realms of existence beyond what we normally perceive.
The book also mentions research on children's past life memories and birthmarks that correspond to past life injuries. It's all very fascinating.
It makes you wonder, right? Like, there's so much we don't know,
Yeah.
but it's exciting.
It is. Energy medicine encourages us to explore those mysteries and be open to the unknown.
And on that note, we'll continue our exploration in part 2 of this deep dive.
Welcome back. We were just talking about those 5 rhythms and how our energy is affected by the seasons, But for now, I want to circle back to that reprogramming our stress response thing. It just feels so relevant these days.
Totally. And I'm curious about those specific techniques. Like, how do we actually shift out of that panic mode when stress hits?
Right. It's not just about knowing it exists. One technique that really stands out is it's literally called reprogramming the stress response. And it involves holding certain points on your body while you intentionally bring up a stressful memory.
Oh, wow. So like facing your fears held on, but with this energetic support.
Yeah. You're encouraging blood flow to the forebrain, the part that handles rational thinking. So instead of that fight or flight taking over, you can stay calmer.
It's like creating a shortcut in your nervous system to respond differently.
And what I find so helpful is that the book gives specific points for different types of stress. Like if it's fear, anger, sadness, even just feeling overwhelmed, there's a point for that.
Okay, that's cool. It's like a personalized toolkit for stress.
Totally. Now let's switch gears a bit. Have you ever heard of the strange flows?
Strange flows. No, what are those?
They sound weird, right? But they're
Mm.
super important. You're like the inner nurturer of our energy body,
Yeah.
providing strength and resilience to all the other systems.
Oh, interesting. So they're kind of working behind the scenes to keep everything running smoothly.
Yeah, good analogy. There are 10 of them, and they do some incredible things, like they strengthen the aura, help clear toxins, even boost your vitality,
Wow. They deserve more credit for all that hard work.
right? And there are ways to activate and balance them. One that's really simple is called send joy through your body. It's exactly what it sounds like.
So I just like close my eyes and imagine feeling joyful.
Yeah, like sending that positive energy throughout yourself. And the book says even pretending to feel joy works.
I like that. Tricking your system into feeling good.
Right. And speaking of feeling good, let's talk about the immune system. The book has a unique take on how energy techniques can support it.
Oh, I'm all about that. So often we just wait till we get sick, but what if we could be more proactive?
Exactly. So there's this thing called the triple warmer, which is like the security chief of the immune system.
Okay, keeping us safe from those invaders.
But it can get overzealous sometimes, like with allergies or autoimmune stuff.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
So that's where reprogramming the triple warmer comes in,
Yeah.
helping it chill out and only react to real threats.
So like training it to be more discerning.
Yes. And energy medicine has techniques for that, specific exercises, acupressure points. It even mentions desensitizing yourself to allergies.
That would be a game changer for so many people.
Right. Now, let's get real about something that's often misunderstood, PMS.
Oh, boy, here we go.
But the book challenges this idea that it's just a hormonal imbalance to be fixed.
So it's not about popping a pill and ignoring it.
Right. It suggests PMS is actually a natural rhythm, connecting women to their inner wisdom and intuition.
Interesting. So instead of something negative, it's like a monthly opportunity for growth.
Yes. It's about embracing the energy shifts, not suppressing them.
Recognizing that our bodies have this wisdom we can tap into.
Now, let's talk about illness. No one enjoys it, but energy medicine says it can be a catalyst for growth.
Okay, that's a different perspective. So instead of fearing it, we can see it as a chance to learn and change.
Yeah, understanding the messages our bodies are sending. And a key part of that is lymphatic health.
The lymphatic system is all about removing toxins, right?
Exactly. And energy medicine gives techniques to stimulate its flow, like dry brushing or rebounding. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, I've heard of those. Are those the kinds of things it recommends?
Yep. It also describes specific energy exercises and something called the spinal flush, tracing down the spine to clear blockages.
Like a detox for your whole system.
Exactly. Now, what about memory loss? It's not just an aging thing. It can happen to anyone.
Totally. We all have those moments where we're like, wait, why did I come in here again?
Right. But the book reminds us that our brains are adaptable. We can actually improve memory with energy techniques. One simple one is the crown pull.
Crown pull? What's that?
You put your hands on either side of your head and gently pull outwards, like stretching your skull.
Oh, okay. What does that do?
It releases tension, improves blood flow to the brain, even stimulates cerebrospinal fluid.
Like a brain boost.
And it's important to keep energy flowing through those suture lines in the skull, where the bones meet,
Yeah, I get that. But they can get stiff as we age.
which can mess with energy flow and affect memory. So the book has this exercise where you place your hands at different parts of your head and breathe deeply. It's like a brain massage.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about our own energy, but what about the energy we encounter from others? Like, does the book address that?
It does. Especially protecting your energy if you're sensitive to other people's vibes.
Oh, like when you walk into a room and can just feel the mood or get overwhelmed by everyone's emotions?
Exactly. The book has techniques for shielding yourself and setting boundaries.
Like the zip up, right? Creating that energetic seal.
That's a great one. It also suggests visualizing a protective bubble of light around you, or even a cloak of invisibility.
Wow, so those visualizations actually work.
Our thoughts and intentions are powerful. It's about choosing what energy we let in.
Not just being a sponge, absorbing everything.
Right. Now, as we move towards the last part of this deep dive, I want to touch on that core theme again, that we are all healers.
The 2 million-year-old healer within.
Exactly. Energy medicine reminds us we have this innate ability to heal ourselves. We don't always need to rely on external sources.
We have more power than we realize.
And that's the beauty of it. It's not about following rigid rules, but tuning into your own energy, experimenting with what feels right.
Becoming your own energy expert.
Yes. Healing is a journey. There's always more to learn and explore. But for now, let's move on to the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back for our final exploration of Donna Eden's energy medicine. It's been quite a journey, wouldn't you say?
It really has. And in this last part, I want to focus on giving you some more tools, techniques you can actually use right away.
Perfect. Now, one that keeps popping up for me is temporal tapping.
Oh, yeah, we touched on it with those habit fields.
Right. But how does it work, really? What's the mechanism there?
So basically, you're tapping on specific points around the head. And the idea is that it stimulates energy flow, kind of like hitting the reset button on your nervous system.
Is that what people are doing when you see them tapping their foreheads or the sides of their heads?
Yep, that's it. And the book has these amazing stories of people using it to overcome things like addictions, even trauma. Some have even lost weight with it.
That's a lot. Is there any science behind it, though? Or is it more of a mystical thing?
More and more research is coming out. But yeah, there's evidence suggesting that tapping, including temporal tapping, can really help with stress, anxiety, even physical pain.
So it's not just some woo-woo thing. It's actually using our understanding of the nervous system to our advantage.
Exactly. And that's what I appreciate about Donna Eden's work. She makes that connection between the ancient and the modern. So it feels both intuitive and practical, you know?
Totally. Now, we've been talking about our own energy systems this whole time, but what about the energy we get from other people? Does the book address that?
Oh, definitely. It talks about how important it is to protect your energy, especially if you're someone who's easily affected by other people's vibes.
Yeah, like when you can walk into a room and just feel everyone's moods.
Exactly. And energy medicine gives techniques for shielding yourself, setting those energetic boundaries.
Like the zip up, right? Tracing up the center of your body to seal your aura.
Yep, that's a good one for a quick shield. The book also talks about visualizing a bubble of light around you, or even a cloak of invisibility.
I love that imagery. And it actually works, just picturing it.
It does. Our thoughts are powerful. It's about choosing what energy we let in.
Not just passively taking it all on.
Exactly. And, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to come full circle to that main idea. We are all healers.
The 2 million-year-old healer within.
Right. We have this innate power to heal ourselves. We don't always need to look outside for it.
We have more control than we think.
And that's what energy medicine really drives home. It's not about rules. It's about self-discovery, experimenting, finding what works for you.
Becoming your own energy expert.
Exactly. Healing is a process, always evolving. And that's where we'll leave it for this deep dive. If our thoughts shape our energy, what are you creating with yours?